Hi, everyone. Chuck here again. We are going to look at developing the master schedule here. And by definition, the master schedule is really a statement of what we're going to build based on what is on hand, what we have for forecast, what we have for customer orders. So what I want to do here real quick is I'm going to share the screen real quick just to give you a quick sense. Just going to draw real quick here. Going to open up a whiteboard here, and I'm going to use my fingers to write on the screen here. So when we're talking about master scheduling here, let me get the draw button going. There we go. So if we look at a product, A is made up of B and C, B is made up of D and E. When we're talking about master scheduling, we're talking about the scheduling of item A, the finished product. When we look at our next video, when we look at materials requirements planning, that's when we're looking at these last items here, the subassemblies and the components. But master scheduling is occurring at the top level, the finished goods, the end item, whatever you want to call it. Now, when we talk about what we're going to build based on what's on hand, what we have for forecasts, what we have for customer orders, you can jump over to the playlist on the math of supply chain and look at the grid for master scheduling to see all the detail in the math. But fundamentally, we're looking at all of our finished goods that we have some type of demand for, forecast or customer orders, and we're looking at each part number and we're trying to figure out what quantity we're going to build based on what supply and demand is and what our lot sizing rules are, et cetera. So part number, quantity, and then of course the date the build has to be completed by, so we can figure out what's going to be built when and where. And again, thinking back to sales and operations planning, we're trying to do this in light of staying sized, SIZED, within the parameters of sales and operations planning. Okay, so just wanted to give you some context here. Now, the master schedule is important because it's the agreement, in a sense, between sales and operations on what is going to be built and what is going to be sold. And so we get the orders in there, the demands in there, the forecast, the customer orders, other requirements, and then we build in response to and in support of what those demands are. An important point also is the master schedule has to be a doable schedule. It's not a wish list, because this number and this part number and the quantities and the dates we're going to build, those drive us and trigger all sorts of other plans for materials, resources, staffing, etc. So it has to be a doable schedule. And like I said, the impact is it drives much of the rest of planning and execution of resources across the rest of the enterprise. So a doable, good schedule gives everyone a shot at working towards optimizing their respective schedules.